Ahoy everyone! It is Wednesday, January 31st, and we're at approximately 26 degrees north and 78 degrees west, and we are in the northwest Providence Channel. We're sailing through the Bahamas. The islands are too low and we're too far from them to see any land. And the only land we got close to was last night, and I didn't see any lights. And the lighthouse on Southwest Point there on Great Abaco wasn't working. So thank God for the chart plotter. As you can see, we got plenty of wind here. Kind of goes up and down, but back to 3 reefs in the main because it was getting up 25-30 knots this morning. The winds are gradually veering easterly. We've got a little aft of the beam now. Presently, we got about 130 miles left to run to Cape Florida, and hopefully these winds will veer easterly and back off a bit so we can safely get across the Gulf Stream. And hopefully that'll happen early tomorrow morning. And with some luck, we'll be into Biscayne Bay sometime tomorrow afternoon, late tomorrow afternoon. Otherwise, all is well. If you notice, these blog entries are getting kind of monotonous. It's because this passage has gotten pretty monotonous. We've had favorable winds direction-wise, but a lot of it, and it's really just been strong winds and big waves pretty much the whole trip. We started off with a single reef in the main leaving Calabria. And since then, I've been alternating between 2 and 3 reefs in the main the whole trip. And I haven't had the reef out of the staysail the whole trip either, except in the very beginning. And alternating between a reef staysail and the heavy weather storm jib. We've made good time so far, but it's been a pretty rough ride here. And be looking to put this one down pretty soon, but we still got to get across that Gulf Stream, and we need this weather to cooperate. And so we still got some hurdles yet, and so we keep driving her on, and hopefully we're going to be in. Hopefully we're going to be in later tomorrow. Ahoy everybody! It is Thursday, February 1st. And we're closing the Florida coast. We're approximately 5 miles east of Fort Lauderdale right now. We're continuing to close the coast mainly to try to get out of the Gulf Stream current. We're still fighting a couple of knots of north-setting current here. So it appears that we got to get within just a couple of miles of the coast, well inside the 100-fathom line to escape this current. And then we got to run about another 20 miles or so south down to Cape Florida, to the old Florida Channel. And hopefully we have decent wind. Hopefully we'll make that before dark. We'll be able to get into Biscayne, at least get into Biscayne Bay before dark. It's a race, but we're trying our best here. As you can see, we got ships around, lots of traffic. We're coming into civilization here. So hopefully we'll make it in tonight. I certainly hope so, because I'm really running a sleep deficit here, and being so close to avoid the Gulf Stream, being so close to land, I can't afford to drop off to sleep at all. So we got to keep pushing on here and try to get this boat into port safely. So here we are. It's about 3 in the afternoon on February 1st, and we finally escaped the north-setting current from the Gulf Stream. Getting inside the 100-fathom line wasn't quite good enough. You really have to get within about the 100-foot line before you get out of the current. But once you do, the seas get quite flat. All the roll and bump from the Gulf Stream is gone, so it's pretty nice sailing. I was just a little afraid to get that close to the shore. And but anyway, we're moving along nice now, heading south toward Miami. I don't know if we'll make it to Cape Florida before dark, but we're going to try and keep driving this old girl along here and see how we do. Oh, what a beautiful night. You can see the Miami skyline there, the city lighting up. It's approximately 7:30 in the evening, and still got a nice wind here. We're moving right along, and we got about 11 miles left to run to Cape Florida. So hopefully, if this wind holds, we'll do that in a little over 2 hours. It'll be after dark, but we should be able to find our way in with the help of the chart plotter. Anyway, right now let's just enjoy the view. Oh, it's a beautiful night. So it's after dark now, and the flashing light you see just then is the lighthouse on Cape Florida. So we're coming into the Cape Florida Channel, and now we're in the Cape Florida Channel. As you can see, we got a full moon, a bright full moon, and now that we're inside the channel, the waters are completely flat and the wind is very light, and so we're just ghosting along. You can see the lights from houses on the shore. And we're going to sail into the Bight, which is just off of Hurricane Harbor, and just drop our anchor. There's about 8 feet of water there or so. So we'll just round up and drop and finally come to rest after this 1,000-mile passage, which was at times rather rough, and overall was a fairly rough trip. So it'll feel nice to finally lower the sails and fold up our wings and come to rest. So we're coming into the narrow Dinner Key Channel here. It's a little after 7 in the morning. As you can see, we have very light winds. We have quite a nice sail in the wee hours just across from Key Biscayne. So now we're sailing under the mainsail, and then I have the dinghy tied on the hip, and I have the 3.5 horse outboard, maybe around a quarter throttle. We're moving right along here, doing about 2.5 knots. So as long as this wind doesn't pick up, we should be good. And we actually have to pass through the Marina Basin and then into the mooring field. So we're probably going to have to do that with the assist of the push boat here. So we're finally coming into the mooring field here after going through the roundabout. And I'm checking through the binoculars to make sure I have the correct mooring, the one the marina just assigned me. And, whoops. I meant to slow the outboard down to an idle, and it just cut on me. I would have to get back in the dinghy to restart it. So we'll just go on momentum here. And we're going to round behind the stern of this white boat off to port and come up into the light wind and up to the mooring. So I got the helm hard over, and she's slowly coming around. And when winds are really light like this, you can do things very slowly. There's no need to rush. Although you do have to watch out for puffs of wind. If I got hit with a puff of wind right now, it would just blow the bow off and could make things a little more interesting. But it's pretty much glass this morning. So we're just going to let her go on her momentum, on her carry, as they say, and coming around. It sure is more pleasant without that motor running, isn't it? And looks like we're not going to have quite enough momentum, so I'm going to use the scaling oar here. That's what I'm doing right now. Just ship the scaling oar. And I'm going to use that to push us a little further. And in light conditions like this, in close quarters, scaling oars are great. Not only can you move the boat forward, but you can also change your course very easily just by rowing the oar one way or the other. So it's almost perfect for picking up a mooring in light conditions, because you can get the boat pointed directly at the mooring. And I'm still not quite happy with the course, so I'm going to come back and use the boat hook to push the tiller over a bit, and then proceed back forward with the boat hook, and we'll pick up the eye to the mooring. And unfortunately, the mainsail's in the way of the camera here, so it's a little difficult to see. And you can see this is a fairly tight mooring field. Just look at how close these other boats are, which are all on moorings here. And all right, and I'm picking the eye up right now with the boat hook. And there, I got the eye. I'll just set the boat hook down, and then I need to tie my own line through that. There's a nylon eye there. And then just need to tie my line onto the boat. And once we get settled here, I'll tie on a second line as a safety, just in case this one lets go for some reason. And just let her settle a bit. And we are tied on now, and the job is done.